Hey there, my name is Justin Rogers, one of the co-founders of GarthBid.com. Today I'm going to give you a first-hand look at the product, try to give you the best explanation of why GarthBid is the greatest place on the planet to buy and sell your stuff. Okay, so jump into the product with me here. First thing you see is this little drop down. GarthBid now has 0 buyer's fees, 0 seller's fees, and also no GST on private transactions. So we're really proud that we could pull that off and help the consumers just save massive amounts of fees when they're buying and selling through auction. Then you got the logo here on the top left. Over here is the bid radius where you can kind of select location. So let's say you're in Athabasca, you can see here and you can kind of scroll down, choose which one is important to you, or you can just put all if you want to look at the items. Then over here is your notifications bell, which is going to show you when there's bids placed and if there's a counter offer that comes. Everything's really going to pop up in your notifications here. When you buy something, it's going to show up here. Here was your profile. I'm going to get into that a bit later. Here's your upgrade panel, which kind of takes you to our monetization strategies, which is quite simple. So it's $9 a month, and we get you ad-free experience. You can post up to 5 items a week. You can use auto bidding, which, let's say you wanted to bid 10,000, you just type that in, and the system will bid for you, which is really convenient if you don't want to just be staring at the sale. And then also we put reveal desired prices behind this, just because I know people really like that feature. And it just kind of entices everybody to give us the $9 because right now we're actually not making any money. So it's nice if people kind of join the mission and really try to help us out and try to get money for this. Then there's also the $99 one, which is all the same perks, plus you just have a limited listing. So this is perfect for dealers, kind of volume seller, flipper type guys. And also we give a bit of a discount on featured posts, which is a feature that's coming this week. And then you go into the Sell with Garth form. This is where you post your items, so you can kind of select the relevant ring, vehicles that say, choose your year, make, model, kilometers, pickup location is auto set to default to the one you chose on your profile, but you can also use a custom location depending on where the item is. Serial number, YouTube link. If you drop a YouTube link, it posts the video right there with a little play button on your post so people can watch the video. Description, just be as honest, transparent as possible. Fill out everything that you can here. If you're a business owner here, you can look at put the taxes on. So let's say you need to charge GST. You put 5% here. What's the tax? GST autofills on the invoice, which is kind of cool. Desired price. It's not really like a reserve. You just kind of let everybody know like what you're thinking, and then we're going to generate you an offer anyways. At the end, you're going to be able to accept or reject the offer, or you could also counter. But it allows everyone to know kind of where your head is at. It's not like a firm price or anything, but just kind of just gives everyone an idea. Select specific Monday. So this is perfect if you have a bigger package of 10, 20 items or a real estate property. You can put it far into the future to give our site a chance to get a lot of people to see it and give us a chance to do some good marketing for you. And then here you do your pictures, then continue, and boom, your item is now going to be in the auction. So now back here, here's the header. Auction starts every Monday. So 0 fees, 0 risk, guaranteed offer every single Monday. So to be very clear, you put your item on here, we get you a guaranteed offer, and you get to accept, reject, or counter. So there's absolutely 0 risk. But one of the cool features that we do have is if, let's say if your item gets close, let's say you want 10,000 and you're at 8,000, you can now activate unreserved. So you can allow every single person to see your item is now unreserved and selling in the sale. So the thing that benefits people about unreserved is that the buyers now know, okay, I got to get my button gear, I got to bid on this or I'm going to miss out. So it creates what's called FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's why unreserved is so powerful. So that's why our model is very cool. It's like a hybrid model of the unreserved, where you don't have to put yourself at full risk, but you also can experience the benefits of unreserved at any point that you want, which is really nice. So then you're totally like, let's say you want 10,000, you're at 8,000, you want to get the benefits of unreserved. You know you're not totally going to lose your butt if nobody else bids, but the chances are everyone's going to now see it's unreserved is going to create more attention towards your item, and it's going to create hopefully a bidding war at the end. So unreserved is very powerful, but I really prefer this model than just doing the entire sale unreserved, because then you just never know what's going to happen, and then there can be a disaster, in my opinion. But I do love unreserved auctions, but I prefer our hybrid model. I think it's better. So then you kind of come down here. This is your My Stuff profile. Okay, so this is our GarthBid Westlock profile where we sell some cars and stuff. You go on here. This just shows like a history of some of the items that we have here in your My Stuff. So these are the items that you post. Then you go here into your My Auction. These are the items now that you add to your watch list that you want to only watch, right? And then payments. So all your invoices kind of come here. Let's go back to that. Your payments, all your invoices are generated here. So when there's an item that's unreserved or sold and the timer runs out, the invoice automatically generates. You come download it here. And also, let's go into the invoices. It's pretty important. You kind of come down, and when it's an active invoice, there's a signature here. You can sign them with your finger pad. That's why the signatures are so messy. And then you can easily sign right there in the application, which is cool. And then subscription, this kind of shows you, so the GarthBid profile is on the benefactor because we post a bunch of stuff. So here you can manage your subscription really easily. Then you kind of come back to the home page, which is the fundamental experience is very easy, okay? So you have first here is your browse menu, which allows you to quickly zoom through all the items that we have. So you can just kind of see, boom, boom, boom. And let's say, for example, you only want to look at this Hyundai Genesis, you can add it to your auction. And you want to look at this motorhome, add to your auction. And then you come over here and you see these are the only relevant ones here. And here's some of your past ones from past sales. But the only relevant ones at the top here are the ones that you want to watch. So our previous auction, you had to scroll through hundreds of items to only watch the ones you want. Now you can only focus on the ones you care about, which I'm really happy that we did that. It makes the experience a lot better. And then that's pretty much it, actually. And then we should go into the experience. So let's say this item is now sold and you're the winning bidder. So what happens is you're going to get a notification here announcing you're the winner. You're also going to get a text saying that you won. You go into your invoice, and then now, let's actually go back into an invoice so I can show you specifically. Okay, so number one thing on here is buyer, please contact the seller and agree how you'll pay. All money moves directly between you and the seller. GarthBid does not handle the funds. So now GarthBid's a peer-to-peer auction. So we did this mainly because now you can bypass any taxes, GST, PST, etc. wherever you're at. Now you pay the person directly, which is really nice. There's no more middleman trying to take buyer's fees, seller's fees, government taxes, or whatever. Now peer-to-peer, similar to Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji with the power of auction. And then you have the seller's name here. You can call him, you can contact him directly here. And the buyer's name is here. So everybody can now know who's who. You can contact each other. Here's the item listings with the serial number. And this is a very important part here too. Read our safety rules before you pay or hand over the item. They walk you through spotting scams and protecting yourself. So very important, you just kind of read through the safety rules. You make sure we now can give you the information to protect yourself so you don't get scammed. Here's the invoice total here. So you can see there's no GST, which is cool. And then as soon as the payment's complete, both the buyer and seller must tag the invoice as paid within 7 days. So here's 5, but we got to change that. So you got 7 days to pay. You come in here and you both mark as paid and you sign. And then the deal is completed. And if the buyer does not complete the deal, then there's a $500 penalty on his credit card and 1 strike on his profile. So the cool thing about this penalty, even from the buyer's perspective, is we're doing what I like to call like a hybrid as-is model. So let's say you're the buyer and you want to bid from a long radius on a $20,000 vehicle, and you go there and it's unreserved, you kind of feel a bit of FOMO, you bid on it, you're like, can't miss this. You go there and the vehicle is not what they said. So there's only a $500 penalty for you to back out. You don't have to take this $20,000 vehicle. You don't have to get booted off GarthBid. The way I see it from a buyer's perspective is if you want to take a risk and bid on something without seeing it, then you only have to face a $500 penalty and you can easily back out. And then this incentivizes people to tell the truth. So if a seller goes and lies about his item and you go there and you're like, no, this is not what you said it was. Now the seller's going to have a terrible review on their profile. They're going to see that somebody has backed out on one of their deals. And also it just is a waste of time for them to lie. So now this system incentivizes the sellers to be 100% truthful. So where the as-is model comes in, it is taken advantage of a lot by auction companies because the incentives are misaligned. So if you sell a $50,000 thing, the auction company is now taking 10 grand in fees and the thing is a little bit messed up. The auction company is more likely to lean towards the seller because that's where they're making their money. They don't want to kibosh the deal. But this allows people to protect the buyer. Although it feels like a penalty, it is a penalty for you backing out. And if you don't pay, you will face the penalty, but you can also use it strategically to protect yourself against a dishonest seller. So, and this also will make sellers over time, when they begin to understand the process, do not lie. Be honest. This is not as is. People now have the power to be able to back out of the deal, and they could say, But the reason why the penalty has to exist is because, let's say you bid $20,000 on a vehicle, and there's somebody at $19,900 below you, and you just said, I changed my mind, like I don't really want it anymore. Wasn't quite exactly what they said. So now that's messed up the buyer or the seller, who, let's say, was trying to be honest, and he loses the person who was at $19,900. So it really messes up the system if you don't pay, because then it really hurts the seller, hurts the auction company's reputation. So there has to be a penalty in place if you decide that you bid and then you change your mind after. But we do give you an out, which is the first auction ever to really do that. So it's kind of an interesting system. And it also incentivizes the sellers. Also, when the $500 penalty is taken, it would be nice to be able to give that to the seller. But as an auction company, we actually have to accept the penalty, because then there would be weird incentives for people lying and then collecting penalties and all this. So the penalty actually comes to the auction company. So we really just want everybody to be honest, have integrity, do your best, say exactly what it is. No more lying. The industry's been plagued by low integrity, lying, trickery, all these things for so long, and GarthBid's here to not only disrupt the fees, make it free, but also make it honest. And we're also building on so many cool AI features. We want to build trust features, safety features, everything in here to give you the best possible experience. So all that's coming down the pipeline. We're working every day to make this site better. Also, if you have any ideas, any user experience issues that you have, you go to the bottom and click contact us. That comes right to me. And then if we get a lot of feedback on certain things, we can make changes very quickly. We have a really good team and we're very quick on it, but we just need your feedback. And one more thing I forgot to show you over here is the categories. So you can easily go here now and you can see whatever categories that you choose, which is oh wow, there's some really cool homes on here. Okay, perfect. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this point of the video. Sorry it's a little chaotic. Maybe I'll try to improve it later, but it's a chaotic company. We're trying to do something big and we're trying to make a difference. If you want to subscribe to our upgrade thing, it's such appreciated because it really helps us out. We went from making sometimes 100, 150 grand a month now to basically zero. So why we did that is because I just have a mission to bring this platform to 1 billion people. I think what we invented here is humanity's greatest way ever to buy and sell anything, because there you have a private transaction where two people meet. One guy said he wants 10,000 for his thing. You're like, well, would you give 7? And then you're like, well, maybe 85. And then you do this weird wiggle together, where in an auction process, now you're putting buyer against buyer. They can battle together. And then also there's liquidity involved. At the end, the seller, let's say he wanted 10,000, the offer is 8,000. Now you have a real liquid offer that you can take. And sometimes even if your thing's worth 10,000, you might want to take the 8 because you might need it. So liquidity is very important. Battling, liquidity, all these things Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, they don't offer, and auction does. And that's why auction is the greatest way ever. We've tweaked it a little bit, and now it's become one of the coolest platforms you could ever use to buy and sell your stuff. So there's my rant. My name's Justin Rogers, one of the guys who created this. Me and my dad. My dad's actually the Garth of GarthBid, so he's kind of the auctioneer for the last 50 years. Main inspiration for the platform, and he's been doing this for a long time. So we appreciate everybody who comes on here, watches this video, supports us. We're trying to do our best to help you sell your stuff. And yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope it clears up some of the stuff. We'll see you next time, next video.